You can't help but fall in love with an absolute badass and insanely overpowered main character. We're talking about incredible levels of power to a point that you have an overpowered main character that can defeat literally anyone at all. Welcome back to Animeology. We know you've seen countless overpowered lists like this, so we've got a couple of recommendations here that you probably haven't heard of but definitely need to check out.
为了荣耀，为了总冠军。
Number 10, K Project. This awesome combination of science fiction, light fantasy, and action has seen a huge level of success across the manga scene. Since then, we've seen multiple anime adaptations, video game creations, and even a film. There is a lot to get involved with in the world of K Project. The series itself follows the relatively ordinary and simple life of Yashiro Isana. Living in a pretty cool and very technologically advanced city, Yashiro attends a relatively well-known high school. Yashiro himself is a pretty normal student, pretty friendly and getting along with most of the students across the school. A bit forgetful, but that's about it. Yashiro's normal life starts to take a turn for the strange after the recent murder of Tadara Totsuka. A strange and mysterious murder that has literally everybody stumped, but the man that killed Tadara actually looks a lot like Yashiro. In fact, he looks identical to our hero. Everyone starts to believe Yashiro is guilty of murdering this man, and he's pursued by a number of people, all the way to secret and shady organizations that want to do a lot more than just lock him up in prison. Number 9, The King's Avatar. Starting off live as a web series, this is a seriously awesome anime watch that actually focuses on the underrepresented world of esports. A hugely growing field of serious interest to fans around the world, The King's Avatar highlights the esports scene in China, following the story of a highly skilled gamer that plays the fictional Glory video game. We follow Yi Zhu, a professional gamer that is widely considered the best player in the entire world, captain of one of the best esports teams on the planet with one of the strongest accounts in the game. Things take a turn for the worse when our hero is forced to leave his pro team and this dream life on the gaming competitive scene, as he's really not willing to take part in any sort of marketing or advertising for the team. The story really kicks off as we find our insanely overpowered hero working the night shift at a basic internet cafe. It's here that he meets the owner of the cafe that is a huge fan of Yi Zhu and his professional performance. An epic tale of Yi Zhu starting off with a brand new and fresh gaming account, determined to climb back up and regain his former stature as one of the best players around the planet. Number 8, Campion. A fantastic combination of action and fantasy with some interesting romantic notes help maintain Campion as one of the better anime series out there right now. This is a seriously brilliant watch that you should definitely be checking out. We follow Goto Kusanagi, an old middle school baseball player that has no choice but to retire due to an injury he received. His grandfather asked him to return a mythical stone tablet to a friend of his, but on the way, our hero's journey takes some interesting turns. He meets a powerful sword mistress by the name of Erica Blandilla, as well as the god of war, Verth Ragna. Goto has no choice but is forced to battle the god of war, defeating him and becoming the Campion, the God Slayer. He's tasked with an epic duty to defeat and slay heretical gods that have started changing things in a selfish manner, hurting innocent people for their own pleasure. Constantly surrounded by beautiful women and fans that can't help but be attracted to him, Campion is a brilliant all-around series with a little something for everybody. Number 7, Unlimited Psychic Squad. A brilliant action series with interesting supernatural notes. This is a spin-off of the classic Zettai Karen children's series that stood on its own 2 feet and is worth a watch on its own merits. This spin-off series focuses on the main villain from the main series, Kyosuke Hyobu and his secretive organization known as Pandra. With some fan-favorite characters returning as well as a lot of great new additions, there is no wonder that this spin-off saw an extended run as an anime and as a manga. The series itself might be similar in both setting and characters, but is far darker and serious in tone in relation to the original. Whilst the original series is focused on the relation between three young girls with insanely powerful psychic powers and their relationship with a young man that has no special powers whatsoever, this original blend of science fiction comedy is definitely not the case in this brilliant spin-off. Number 6. Gurren Lagann. A fantastic mech series that is often considered a modern classic. The creators behind Gurren Lagann have made a name for themselves from this iconic adventure comedy series with a heavy dose of drama and some awesome mecha battles thrown in. Set in the distant future in which Earth is completely ruled by the Spiral King, forcing all of mankind to live in these horrible underground villages. These villages are completely cut off from one another with no contact with the surface world and constantly face the threat of earthquakes. We follow a young and weak man by the name of Simon, with his best friend and older brother. They team up with the goal of one day reaching the surface world. The series really kicks off when Simon discovers a mysterious key and a powerful mecha that can be used to defend his village and drill his way to the surface world. Number 5. Haven't you heard? I'm Sakamoto. A fantastic and well-polished comedy series. This is an anime that will legitimately have you rolling on the floor and laughing constantly. It is actually hilarious and something you do not want to miss out on. The core of the series follows a high school student by the name of Sakamoto. In fact, Sakamoto is considered the absolute coolest kid from the entire school. In fact, he is basically overpowered considering just how cool he is. The story itself follows the literally flawless boy genius that is Sakamoto that is universally loved by almost every student in the school. The other boys in the school are incredibly jealous and set up a number of pranks in order to make him look bad. These pranks often go wrong and Sakamoto always manages to get out looking absolutely perfect and ends up looking even cooler than before, with the girls of the school being even more impressed. A brilliant comedy series that set the gold standard for what modern anime comedy should strive to be like. Number 4. No Game, No Life. An extremely well put together isekai anime series with a strong fantasy element with some brilliant core characters that had us eager for more. No Game, No Life follows Sora and Chiro, two shut-in step-siblings that are hugely into online gaming, with the legendary title as an undefeated group of gamers. The story starts off with them being challenged to a game of chess by Tet, a literal god. The two manage to defeat the god and he offers them the ability to live in a world that is mainly centered on games. They jokingly accept, but are then summoned to a reality known as Discord. It's here that powerful magic binds the entire world to be backed by games. The citizens in Discord cannot harm one another and are forced to resolve their disagreements and arguments through playing games, although cheating is definitely still allowed. Number 3. King's Raid. Based on an incredibly popular mobile video game, there was a very rich world, lore, and backstory for the anime series to adapt from. We learn of an epic fantasy land by the name of Orbis, a world of swords and magic. We slowly begin to learn of the major players that are truly at the world behind the realm of Orbis. The anime series is set in the distant past and we learn of the final battle that led to the defeat of a vicious demon king and the age of peace for the kingdom. But things aren't as simple as they seem, as demons begin reappearing in the world and people began to disappear. A great magician brings together a team of trusted allies in order to find those that went missing and to hunt down a legendary holy sword that is vital to saving the land from this impending demonic invasion. Number 2. Kaze no Stigma. A brilliant action romance anime series with some fun supernatural elements behind it. There is a lot to get into from this long-running series that has seen a huge level of success as a light novel, manga, and anime series. we follow Kazuma Kanagi, the eldest son of his family that is set to take control of his family. Unfortunately, our MC lacks the ability to use his family signature blaze technique and is considered useless. His father insists he fights for the right to rule the family but is defeated by his younger cousin. Disgraced, exiled, and banished from his family, Kazuma heads off by himself, returning 4 years later as a master of the wind technique and with a completely new set of insanely overpowered abilities. But a series of deaths starts occurring since his return, and everyone starts to claim that he is the one responsible. With a strong and mysterious core story, some epic anime battles, and a brilliant tale of vengeance, this is a fantastic series you do not want to miss out on. Number 1. B. Beginning. Considerably more mature and a lot darker than most of the anime series on this list. This is a seriously overlooked and extremely underrated anime series that more people should definitely check out. Science fiction based yet extremely suspenseful psychological thriller, B Beginning is the beginning of the new trend of anime series. Set in a world that is powered by insanely advanced technology, we learn that the world is filled with crime and action. Set across nations that are heavily inspired by awesome European settings such as Italy and France, we learn of a vigilante serial killer that has the entire world worried. We follow a legendary investigator in a mysterious criminal organization and one of the most brilliant core plots we have ever seen in an anime series. This is one that you do not want to miss out on.